So last night, Tesla did indeed finally release enhanced autopilot. As we had reported last week, enhanced autopilot was on its way based on a tweet from Elon Musk. So he did confirm that he would bring EAP back to the US, and as of today, it is now back here in the US and Canada, which is great news. We've been wanting EAP to come back for quite a while, and the reason is, unless you really want to be in the beta program, EAP is going to give you basically all the features that you would want. The only things it does not come with is navigate on city streets and stop sign and stoplight recognition. So it's not going to automatically come to a stop at a stop sign or at a red light. And I will say this, that one feature would be nice to have in EAP, because when you're driving and there's a flashing yellow light, I noticed that on full self-driving in beta, it can recognize that that's a flashing yellow light. In any other software, if you're not in beta, it will freak out and try to stop multiple times. So that one feature would be nice. But like I've been saying here, EAP is a very good set of features. And last time it was offered, it was $4,000. And we talked just last week, is this going to be $4,000, or is it going to follow that same pricing schedule that we've seen historically from Tesla, which is EAP being offered for half the price of full self-driving? So at half the price, it would be $6,000. And sure enough, it came in at $6,000. That's a lot of money. At $4,000, I think it's a no-brainer for almost everybody. At $6,000, you've really got to start thinking about, how much am I going to use the features that come with EAP? Are you driving on the highway a lot? Do you do a lot of road trips? It's probably worth it. If you are literally just commuting in your car in the city and never getting on the highway, it may not be worth it for you. The biggest thing that it adds that I think is the most useful is automatically being able to change lanes, or telling it when to change lanes without having to disengage autopilot. It's a big feature. In the future, when Smart Summon comes out and it becomes actually a Smart Summon feature, that's going to be really a nice feature to have, because when it's raining outside, being able to have your car come pick you up, that's going to be really nice. Right now, it does not work very well. And a lot of the focus and a lot of the development has been on full self-driving beta. So EAP has had basically very little inputs. Now, what we've seen here this year so far is finally there have been some tweaks and some improvements, in my opinion, in vision-only cars with autopilot, especially with phantom braking. And I think that the same can be said for EAP. Not a lot of focus has been on there because they're pouring all their resources into full self-driving. Now, $6,000. There is not a monthly subscription plan yet. It is possible that this could be offered as a subscription plan, and if it was, based on today's prices, I would expect it to be $99 a month. That would be really nice, because again, just like with full self-driving, you can add it when you want it, you can add it when you're using it, and then you can shut it off when you're not using it as frequently. In addition, it also gives you the ability to try it before you buy it. So some people may want to just give it a try for 1 month and find out if it's worth it. So for now, you're going to have to pay $200 just to try it before you buy it. And keep in mind the things that it won't do when you pay $200 for full self-driving subscription. It won't automatically stop for stop signs and stoplights. Everything else though is the same. You get navigate on autopilot, Smart Summon. You can move the car in and out of tight parking spots. Car will be able to change lanes without disengaging autopilot, all those things. And those are very good, useful features. And I think that there's a lot of value there. $6,000 though is a big chunk of change. But there is one more thing to consider. If you are thinking you want to get full self-driving and you're saving your money and you're not there yet, EAP may be a way to step into full self-driving in the future. So you can pay $6,000 now, and after you do that, unlike in the past, it's now only the difference between that $6,000 and the full $12,000 to upgrade to full self-driving. So if you paid $6,000 now, you'll then have the option at any time after you've purchased that to pay another $6,000 to get full self-driving. So if you think you're leaning in that direction, it may be a way for you to be able to get to full self-driving in 2 increments rather than $12,000 all up front. Now, you won't have access to beta Beta. You won't be able to do any of that stuff, but you will have EAP features until you're ready to get to full self-driving. Just like full self-driving and all the other software updates you can purchase for the car, this feature stays with the car. It does not stay with you. That's always been my biggest gripe about these huge premium costs that go with these added features, is once you lay that cash out, it's gone. It stays with the car. So if you go to sell it, whoever buys that car gets to keep those features. You do not. So if you paid $12,000 today to add, or $6,000 to add EAP, when you sell that car, EAP stays with the car. And guess what? You get to pay $6,000 again for the next car if you want to add EAP. I don't see Tesla making any changes to that because there's been no indication that that's going to happen. So EAP, $6,000, stays with the car. Something to really think about. Another thing that I've always said about full self-driving, when you lay that money out, you don't get to keep that. And how long do people keep cars these days? And I think that that's something you really got to think about in your head. Enhanced Autopilot was pretty decent when it was last offered here. It was $4,000. And since then, nothing has changed. The features don't do anything different today than they did back then. So to see that 50% increase in price is very disheartening, but based on the pricing model that Tesla has been using for this in the past and right now across the globe, it's historically been about 50% the cost of full self-driving. So from that perspective, it makes total sense, but there is nothing new added to the feature set for that 50% price hike since the last time it was offered. So I'm really curious to know from you, are you going to be adding EAP to your car now that this is available? Let me know in the comments if you've already done it, if you've done it in the past, or if you're thinking about doing it now. I'm very much considering doing it, but I do a ton of driving on the highway. So for me, I feel like even though $6,000 is a big price tag, I think we would get use out of it. I do not want to pay full self-driving for 2 cars, especially when we're going to lose it when we get rid of the cars. So EAP may make perfect sense for our replacement Model 3 that will be here this weekend. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.